We're going to talk a little town business on this one. In general, Oakland, California. Now, I know, of course, you heard of Oakland, East Oakland, West Oakland, Ice City. Now, what's the difference? What's the differences from the size of town? Well, let me break it down. Now, you may or may not know Oakland consists of three sides of town. East Oakland, West Oakland, North Oakland. East Oakland is the biggest side of town. So it's more spread out. So most of the main strips is in the east. This is where the sideshow started. In the east, this is where most of your riding, side, whipping and dipping and all that took place in the east. Now again, I'm generally speaking, and I'm talking then and now. So right now I'm kind of talking then. But again, east is still the biggest side of town. And historically, West Oakland would be the oldest. Well, for blacks, because when most of the blacks came to Oakland, they settled in West Oakland. So West Oakland is more smaller, compact, but more concentrated with black folks. So when it comes to the street politics or whatever, it's a little different. Whereas the East is more spread out, the West is considered more cutthroat because it's not many neutral zones. Now, don't get me wrong, you got spots in the East. It's pretty much like the West because the East is bigger. Again, like I said, the East got all that. Another thing is, like, if you ever been to Oakland, you ever fly into Oakland and you go and you get off and you go to that BART station, the Coliseum BART, and you look and all that you see spread out, all that hill as far as you can see, all that's East Oakland. Until you look and you see downtown, and on the other side of downtown is West and North Oakland. But all that you see, as far as your eye can see, you looking at all that hill, all them hills, all that, that's East Oakland. So that's how much bigger East Oakland is. So you got everything in East Oakland. You got everything, even like all them hills where, the upper class, all that in the East. Now, North Oakland, with that being said, because North Oakland will be the second biggest side of town, although most people don't realize that because in the North, you got upper class in the Rock Ridge, all that, Upper Broadway, all that, but then you got the ice. But it's all ice. But that's North Oakland. And North Oakland is old too. North Oakland got a pretty old history. That whole North Oakland, Berkeley got a whole old history concerning African Americans. What is it? The Porters Union and all that. Research that. But on the surface, that's basically the difference from them sides of town. And I put a video explaining the oldest hood in Oakland. This is why historically, now don't get me wrong, because I'm talking then and now, things have changed when you got gentrification. Most of your projects is in the West, although we don't really call them projects, we call them villages. But most of them is in the West. And you got, again, everything in the East too. But the West is more smaller, compact. Another good example would be, it ain't too many pull-up spots in the West, in the North. Where the East, you got pull-up weed spots where you pull up in the East. It's popping in the East. The West and the North move a little different. You gotta kind of know. It's just what it is, but that's just basically due to the size, so the politics is a little different. And that, some would argue that don't necessarily apply now, but again, I'm generally speaking, or originally speaking. So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, because it's a lot of changes in terms of gentrification. As I was mentioning, as far as when you go to the West, you see a lot of the white folks basically. We're in the East now, but really, again, the East is bigger, so you got white folks in the East too, because the East is hella big. But when you in the deep, or when you ride in the flatlands, because again, in East Oakland, you got the hills and you got the flatlands, you see a lot of black and Mexican and a sprinkle of whites. But as far as the West and the North, that was really predominantly black and a sprinkle of everything else. But now you're starting to see more white people come in. But for the most part, these dynamics that I'm mentioning is still the same. And y'all let me know what y'all think. But in general, that's pretty much the difference between the size of town and Oakland. It's hoods in all sides of town. So it's hitters, is whatever you want to call it. We got all that in all sides of town. It's Oakland's. So that is everywhere. So I ain't even got to mention that. You got hoods in East, West, and in the North. And all sides is rocking. So that's the answer to that part. And a quick little bonus hint, because when you look on the map and you see East Oakland, it tends to appear like geographically south of the other sides of town as opposed to east. But it's actually east, and it's a specific reason why. And I'll break that down, y'all, in another video. I got that in another video coming real soon. Yeah, East Oakland being the biggest side of town, so you got East Oakland and you got the Deep East. And East Oakland starts on the other side of downtown, the other side of the lake. Basically, First Ave, Second Ave, on out to the Hundreds. So that's East Oakland. When you right there on the other side of the lake, that's Funktown. That's the first hood. That's Funktown, on out to East Oakland. Now I know there's been talk from the city, being the city officials, are trying to call that area, that and the Dubs, Central Oakland. No, that ain't no Central Oakland. That's East Oakland. And when you get further out, pretty much past, I would say 73rd or 8 Deuce, then you in the deep. So just to let you know, that's East Oakland. In the West being smaller, that's pretty much, now I call the downtown the West. Most people would say the West is on the other side of downtown when you cross over the little overpass. But to me, all that's West. And then the North is like really above that, like on the other side of that. All that's North Oakland. And like when you in like Grand Lake Theater, to me, y'all, that's North Oakland. Y'all let me know in the comments. But Grand Lake Theater, that's North Oakland. Now, when you cross just quick, when you go like Park Boulevard, all that, see, all that's the east. All that's east. But Grand Lake Theater, that's North Oakland. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about that. Bad News Brown breaking it down real quick for y'all. Some town business, one-on-one in general. Town business being Oakland, California, the town. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be back at y'all.